Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I am filming from our ski resort in Georgia where we're staying, and I'm outside on the balcony, so it's pretty cold, but I thought the beautiful light from the snow was too good to miss, so I hope there's not too many ambient noises of people skiing. Today's video is about New Year's resolutions, and I know the first thing you're thinking is like, well, New Year's was like a week ago. And I am actually filming this today on the 1st of January, but I deliberately didn't want to release this video until next week because I feel like today, maybe you're hungover, you're probably not at work, everything's a bit overwhelming and you're out of your routine. And my thinking is that, you know, if you wanted to give up drinking, today is probably not the day to do it. Or if you want to start going to the gym, it's not a good time to build it into your routine. So now that it's a week later, you're going to be back at work, you know, your kids are back at school, you're back in a normal routine, and so this is the time to start making changes, because the routine that you build will then continue for the whole year. So that's my plan. My idea for this video is to bombard you with ideas for resolutions, because this might sound really silly, but I feel like it's actually quite hard to come up with resolutions. You normally just do the obvious ones like lose weight, go to the gym, quit smoking, and I wanted to try and be a bit more creative and give you some ideas of ones that you can do that are really practical and that will still change your life. So before I begin, I wanted to say a couple of quick things about how to do good goals and how to do good resolutions. Obviously, it's better if you do goals regularly, not just once a year, not just on the 1st of the year, but this is still a good time. It's a good reminder to make some. The thing that I most encourage you to do, the most important thing from this video, is to write down your goals on actual paper. Sit down and set aside some time to actually write down your goals properly with your hand, not type them. And then ideally, put that paper somewhere where you're going to see it, block out time in your calendar to check in on how you're doing in like March and June, and set goals like mini goals for those, achievable goals, all that kind of thing. I have done a whole video which I will link that goes into more detail on that kind of stuff, but basically write it down and put it somewhere that you can see it. But even if you don't put it somewhere you can see it because you forget, I am amazed how well writing it down works. Whenever I come back to my goals list a year later, a few months later, several years later, they've all come true. Like, it's not, I don't believe, the universe coming to you, but I do think that if you write down what you want, it like resets the sat nav in your mind, it resets your subconscious, and you're kind of speaking out loud the things that you want to come true, and then your future self just makes them happen. They just say yes to opportunities, they always have their ear to the ground. Like, your future self will deliver if you set yourself goals that you're truly passionate about. I also think they should be positive and specific. So rather than quit smoking, is there a positive way you can say that, like be able to run 5k or save enough money that I would have spent on cigarettes to have a weekend away in Paris with my boyfriend? Okay, so I don't want to spend too long chatting about all the information on resolutions, even though I could do an entire video just about this, but I now want to get on just to a massive list of ideas for resolutions that you could make. The first section is fitness, and my first idea is to buy a particular program. So my friend Rachel Attard does a really cool ebook program for getting skinny legs, and so I would recommend choosing a program like that and saying my goal is to complete this whole program rather than just get fit. Similarly, you might want to achieve a streak. So I've talked before about the app that I use, which is Gixo, and they measure the consecutive days that you've done, but you could also do that yourself with like a calendar cross off or something. So I think if you can achieve a like 10-day streak on Gixo, or a 10-day streak of going to the gym, or a 10-day streak of doing sit-ups, and I would recommend choosing a relatively small goal at first for ones like that. So I would say I want to do a 10-day streak, and then maybe I would fail a couple of times. Maybe I'd make it to 2 and then miss one, then I'd make it to 5 and then miss one, and then eventually I'd make it to 10. But I think if you set the goal as like 60, then after a couple of days you're like, I'm never going to make it to 60, and you give up. So I think what's better is to set it as 10, and then when you've done 10, be like, okay, now I want to do 20, and keep moving the line further away. But to me, I think that's a more encouraging way to do it. Next in fitness is a very specific thing that you could say, for example, to be able to do a headstand in yoga rather than just do yoga more often, or even do yoga 3 times a week. If you can pick something you really want to be able to do, like touch my toes or anything like that, a really specific achievement that you would feel really good about. Similarly, you could say I want to be able to run 10k or swim 2k, maybe sign up for a half marathon. All that kind of stuff gives you a really like measurable achievement moment, so that you know you've completed that goal and you can really give yourself a pat on the back. If it's just get fit, then you never really get to say well done to yourself because it's kind of so gradual. One final one in fitness, which one of my Instagram followers suggested to me, was drink more water. So maybe for this you would buy one of those bottles that is 1 litre or 2 litres, and you would say drink 2 of those a day, or however you want to set your goals. And there's also apps which help you remember to drink water. You can tick off every time you've had a glass of water until you've had 7 that day. So then I have a couple in education. The first one would be similar to the fitness one, to complete a course. Like maybe buy a Udemy course and complete it, or buy a book and finish reading it, or pass a specific exam, like your grade 2 piano or something like that. You can take up a new hobby and learn something new. Maybe you even want to perform, like take up dance and do a show at the end, or on Christmas Day play for your family, or at your friend's wedding be able to play them down the aisle. There's so many creative and specific and positive goals that you can set around learning a new skill. And then the other one is related to books. So I normally set myself the goal of reading 10 books in the year, and I have a little Evernote where I write down each book that I've read so I can look back over the year. I normally end up with more than 10, but to me that's a nice goal because I have a few months where I don't read at all, and then I go on holiday and read a bunch and kind of catch it up. And then of course, you guys know me, I've got a bunch of goals related to business and money. So the first one might be to put yourself forward for a promotion, or get onto a particular training program that your boss will pay for, to try and accelerate your career if that's the path that you've chosen. Then one that relates more to me and other creators might be to reach a specific number of followers on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, or whatever your main like business outreach medium is. You could also say you want to increase your savings or reduce your debt. That is a really positive one. I think it's really life-changing if you can have a big chunk of savings so that you're able to change career or jump on an opportunity when it comes your way, or similarly to reduce your debt. It will give you so much more freedom, and people contact me all the time about becoming a nomad and saying they can't do it until they get rid of their debt or until they increase their savings. So that could be a really good quantifiable goal, like I want to have this much money in my savings account by the end of the year. Next could be to have inbox zero. This is something I'm always striving to and I don't always achieve, but that's quite a nice, slightly unusual New Year's resolution that you could go for. You could also say you want to outsource something. So for example, a year or two ago my goal was to outsource my taxes, but it might be to outsource your YouTube editing or your cleaning. There's so many different things that you could try and get someone else to do. It's so powerful if you can outsource something that you don't enjoy or that isn't worth the value of your time because you want to spend it doing more creative things, or spending it on self-care and spending time with yourself, because what's the use of money if you can't spend it on buying back some of your time? Your time is the most precious thing in the world. I also think it's okay to put something a bit materialistic, like get a new house or a new car, or get a dog, or buy something for myself, like maybe you want to buy yourself a diamond ring. Or I think it's okay to have something materialistic because it does motivate you, and it is a specific goal that you will know when you've achieved it and it will feel really good. So that moment when you go in and buy that like dream designer dress to wear on Christmas Day, or whatever it is that you're looking for, it will motivate you to try new job opportunities and some of the other things that we've mentioned, because those ultimately lead to having the spare income to be able to treat yourself to things. So I think it's okay if you have something that other people might say is materialistic. You could also have the goal of starting a side hustle. So maybe you want to earn $1,000 outside of your job this year or this month. But I think that would be a nice specific goal that you could set for yourself. Finally, related to money, you could say you want to do more charity donations. You could choose the charities you want to give to, you could choose a direct debit you want to set up, you could choose a total amount that you want to give, and that would be a really nice way to give back this year. Then the final category is life. So these are going to be kind of more general ones about happiness and well-being. The first one is to declutter, not just your home, although of course that's always good, but my mum is decluttering the freezer and she has set herself a goal of eating everything in the freezer, because freezers, stuff gets pushed to the back and you don't even know what's in there. And I think it's going to be such a fun project because she's got things like a massive trout from one of our friends who is a fisherman who never knows enough places to get rid of all the fish that he catches, and so to eat that she's going to have a big party and have loads of people over because it's so huge. And so I think actually it will be a really fun project. There's loads of Cornish pasties in there from when they went on holiday, and I think something like that that's really specific that you want to declutter could be really awesome. And see it as a fun project. It doesn't have to be like, oh, get rid of all my crap. It can be, you know, have a friend round, throw a swap shop so that I can get rid of a bunch of my clothes. Or another one that I think is really good is to clean out your inbox. So unsubscribe from a ton of stuff. I unsubscribe from stuff probably every day because it's amazing how many things you subscribe to. So once something comes into my inbox, I'm constantly remembering to unsubscribe it rather than just delete it. So you might want to have a bit of a declutter of your inbox. Similarly, you might want to use up all of your makeup or wear everything that you have in your wardrobe. I think all of these could be really fun projects. Like, I've probably got loads of things in my wardrobe that I haven't worn. Maybe I've got a ball gown from my university prom and I don't want to get rid of it, so it's like, okay, you have to wear it. So I'm gonna have to go to some fancy charity ball to get a chance to wear it. And I think you can see these things as a really fun project. Another one that I think is really valuable is to say no to one thing, maybe per week, per day, per month, but cutting out things in your life that don't bring you happiness, whether that's people, activities, businesses. There's so many different things that you're probably committed to that you don't enjoy. Maybe that monthly book club actually really sucks because everyone's super negative, or maybe the gym that you go to doesn't make you feel good, or maybe a client that you have is a total nightmare. So try and start saying no to more things, and you will be amazed how much time it frees up in your life. You also might have a bucket list activity that you want to do, like go in a hot air balloon or see a particular travel destination. All these are the kind of things that are perfect as New Year's resolutions. One that I think might be really nice is to send more thank you cards, or just tell people that you love them or that you thank them more often. But I think actually sending a physical card is really fun. So you could say to yourself, I want to send a thank you card every week to someone, whether it's the person who works at my supermarket who's always really smiley, or a nurse who doesn't often get thanked for all the hard work that they do, or a friend or family, or someone you've lost touch with, a school teacher from back in the day. There's so many nice things that you can thank people for, and that would be a really nice way to put some more positivity out in 2019. Then my final one is meditation, which is something I've been really enjoying. I am a subscriber of Headspace and I love it. I've been meditating every day for 10 minutes and I find it really, really powerful. I'll probably do a whole video about that, so let me know in the comments if you would like me to make a video on that. But again, similar to the workout and meditation streak, where I managed to do 10 days in a row or 5 days in a row. So one final idea that Caroline's English Life suggested to me on Instagram is to have a word of the year. She's an English teacher, so of course this fits really well with her. But I also read in a book recently about someone having 3 words a year, and they use that to make all of their decisions. So a word for how you want your year to feel. Like, is it calm? Is it abundant? Is it focused? Is it profitable? Is it family? I think that would be a really interesting idea, to come up with one word for the year. So I might try and do that for myself, but let me know in the comments what yours would be if you come up with one. And don't forget that if you fail at something, if you fall off the bandwagon, you can just restart. I spoke to a gym instructor once who said to me that when you go out and you spend more than you meant to, you have like a big blowout because it's your birthday and you regret how much you spent, you don't then just think, well, it's all screwed, I'm just going to empty my entire bank account and burn the money. You think, okay, well, I'll just save money this week and get back on track, and if I pick up this job then I can earn the money I spent yesterday and I won't feel so bad about it. And you just immediately readjust to get back on the bandwagon. Whereas with fitness, if you miss a few days because you're on holiday, which is totally fine, you don't have to do these things every single day, then you just think, oh, my fitness plan is ruined, I give up. And so I thought it was really interesting to look at it more how you look at money. And if you fall off the bandwagon with any of these goals, then don't worry about it, just start again and just reset your streak and try again. Just because you haven't achieved it immediately, it doesn't mean you can't. So I hope you guys have found this video useful. I really think this is the perfect time to set yourself new goals, because like I said, your routine is all back established now. It's the perfect time to just slot something into that routine, and that's how you're gonna have the best year ever. So I'm really excited to share this year with you guys, so please feel free to subscribe to follow along with me, and let me know in the comments what your resolution is gonna be, and I will see you next week. Bye!